So today I'm going to address a very interesting subject that's totally tied to quantum physics. I want to talk about the media and predictions. I want to talk about how that works and how you can take immediate action to change some things. And we are so in control. I want you to understand that. This is a very, very important video for you to watch if you're interested at all in what's going on in the world out there in our future. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. I couldn't wait for my hair to dry before I addressed this because I don't watch television other than very few shows that I pick and choose, like history or things like that, or not even history, really, like archaeology or things like that, are very upbeat and happy. But I have to tell you, if you're on television at all, you see what other channels are showing and what's available. Quantum physics has proven that your focus affects the outcome of whatever experience you're conducting. It has proven that our focus every single day, 24/7, creates. We affect that quantum field that flows through everything. It doesn't judge. It just reacts to our thoughts and our focus. So if you focus on something, you're actually contributing to it. You're entangled with it. Entanglement means that all of a sudden it becomes part of your reality, right? So if you're thinking of, you're taking a walk in nature and all of a sudden you're thinking about, what your mother said about the dress you were wearing, or, you're a bad person, and then your blood pressure goes up and whatever, you are now entangled in that. Even though you're out there in nature, physically, that mind of yours, that quantum space, is now connected to that focus of your mom and the negativity, and now all of a sudden your frequency goes down and you go into that. We all know, everybody's done this, and then you're out there. Have you seen people talking to themselves and blah 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 blah? I'm like, they don't have a cell phone. They don't have a little earbud in there, so they're not on the phone. And this goes on all day. So the entanglement that you have is 100% your focus. So let's say you don't believe in something, but you turn something on television and it's really nasty. You are now entangled with it, even if you don't believe it. All right? Oh, I don't believe that's silly. But you are now entangled with that energy field. You therefore contribute to it. You contribute to it. All right? So what does that mean? It is part of your energy field because you can't undo that. Oh, that's ridiculous. I can't believe they're doing that. And then it stays with you, doesn't it? You might even dream about it, or you think about it, or you feel bad. Or people said to me, I had to watch your video this morning because I admit I was off watching other stuff and I felt bad. And you know they're going to do it. This is all media programming. This is all media programming. It's all part, and when I talk about the Matrix is just the program. There's nothing wrong with the Matrix. It's just a holographic program. We can have a Matrix world that's a new Earth. The new Earth can reside in the Matrix. Why? It's just a peaceful way of living as humans. Because we're not humans. Nothing is actually solid. Right? It's also just a vibration of the same energy field, different vibrations, different frequencies. So we're creating that in this matrix, in this game, this holographic game. We can all live in total peace and heaven on earth. But when we go outside the matrix, we're not people at all. We're light beings, and we're off doing everything, and everything's possible there. So the Matrix is just the program. So when we see the Matrix, we think about the movie, and it's all evil or whatever. But there was also this peaceful way people were living that looked false. That's not how we work here. The peaceful place is what's truly real, and everything else is part of that programming. And of course, we know that the hero went way beyond that. He went into the expansive quantum field where nothing could touch him, nothing could harm him, and he was just in a space of perfection. And that's what this is. When you go into that space, you're actually not in the program anymore. All right, so what do? We learn from the matrix. We get to experience it. So to try to get out of the matrix is not the whole purpose of us being here. It's to master it. Because once you master the matrix, you're in this game, in this play, you become the hero. It's amazing. You become awakened. And then you no longer have to play this game. You go off to another one. All right? But what's happening is there are low frequencies within the matrix because the material world presents this belief that this is all we are. We forgot what we are so that we can play the game. So if you go into a low density, you're going to think the worst of the future, the worst of everything. You're not going to, respect other people. You're going to go into separation. You're going to be arguing with people. I'm spiritual and you should awaken. Okay, let's review that little, scenario. And so we have to take a really good hard look at ourselves, and we don't even realize that we are still in that lower frequency within our holographic matrix if we are arguing and in density. So what's happening is the programming of the media keeps us there. So if you're starting to feel good like some of you do, oh, I'm addicted to your channel, and then they're off, doing stuff, and I'm feeling bad again. You now get entangled. What happens is you absolutely start to create that. So the more people that media can get to watch this stuff, shows of violence. Oh, but they're heroes. Oh, they're battling the bad guys. But you're still watching this. You're still watching this conflict. And so in your mind, this is our world. Murder and all these horrible things that happen, and but the heroine or the hero in the show, they always take. That's reinforcement of the lower frequency matrix. That's all it's doing. So now we've got shows where, and we've seen a lot of these, the Towering Inferno and whatever plane disasters, and of course I've heard that there have been like predictions on The Simpsons, a cartoon here in the U.S. about 9/11. How's that possible? I don't think that they're creating. I think they're already tuned into what's going to happen. That's why I said we can change that future. They're tuning into what's going to happen already. That's why that future exists. There's a probability, but we can change it. So what's going to happen is I saw something on television, and it's really disturbing, and that is this future thing of things that are going to happen to cities and whatever. And if you watch that, you actually help create that. I'm not kidding about this. And this is science. You can look this up, that if you focus it, if enough people focus on that, they can actually create that scenario. Because we manifest. Thoughts are things. Now here's what I talked to you about. I wrote a blog and I've got a video. Are you going to be the 1%? It only takes 1% to shift this planet into a higher frequency. And you won't do it watching that stuff. If you're on the news, well, how do I get my news? That's not news. You're creating the news. You have to be the creator. So people say, how do you find out anything? I said, if I have to, I find a credible as possible source for something to get facts, not somebody's spin on it, standing in front of a camera all dolled up telling you something, because if they don't, they lose their jobs. This is part of the low frequency, and that totally exists. But if you become engaged in it on any level, and you can tell me that it doesn't harm you and that you're probably addicted to it, right? All of this space programs and all these things. I believe that those people genuinely believe what they're telling, because those stories are too damn good and they're too consistent. I believe that these people are programmed and either brainwashed or something else has happened. I don't believe all of that stuff is true. So you could watch it all day, and whether it's true or not, it's true for them. Why do you need to watch it? You becoming entangled that is going to sound like a very scary, horrible world that you are now creating. So by focusing on that, and that's how they get you to go into that fear-based. If they're showing fear-based stuff, you're watching it, what's that purpose? What purpose is fear-based? Disclosure of what? How does knowing that do anything? If you are focused now on how am I going to create a a new world. I'm going to focus on positivity. Yes. Oh, Landria, you're in La La Land. No, I'm in a different reality than you. Totally. And if you want to focus on that and that's reality you want to create, you can, because it does exist. But here's where those people are wrong for me. They're wrong because when I go into this space of peace and I see this world transforming into something amazing, that reality is real too. So when they say mine isn't, they are wrong. Theirs is real and they are right about that. But mine is too. And that's the beauty of multiple realities and free will. You get to choose it. So if you are focused on the things that are put out there to really scare you, you're creating it. You're creating that future and you're contributing to it. And you're totally responsible, 100% responsible. Yeah, you, just one person. It's true. One person makes a difference. Oh, it's just one plastic cup. Millions are floating out there in our oceans. But yours was just one. Everybody's just one. So what are you going to do about it? You're going to have to. I know, it's tough. It's tough to get off the addiction. But it feels bad, doesn't it? And you're thinking, why would I want to watch this stuff? I'm actually going to create it. And if you look at it and you think, I'm creating this. I'm creating the news. I'm creating separatism. I'm creating conflict. Because as soon as we unify, we become very powerful. And when powerful, awakened people get together, the planet changes. And that, my friend, is being presented out there purposefully to keep us at each other's throats. And if you're doing that, you're creating a planet where violence and struggle and conflict will continue to rule. And there is a whole sector of people that will not live in that reality. They won't experience it. That's why if you're not watching the news, you don't know what's going on. Is it real? You know, quantum physics says that nothing exists until you actually observe it. So you are in a 3D body, your vehicle here, and you are able to see the hologram in this room. I'm able to see everything in a 3D effect in my 3D body. But I'm not this body. But we came into the bodies and everything's in 3D for us to observe. The essence of us is none of this. None of it. It's all created. And so we can create anything. This is absolutely, and it is, some of it's brainwashing and others just are in such a state of density that they don't know any better and they just spew this garbage out because they believe this is how things work. It doesn't matter. If you're observing it, you're contributing. You have to make some very tough decisions right now. We're at the turning point. Sorry, the tipping point. Yeah, turning point, critical. And so we're going to go into the year of action, 2022. What does that mean? You're going to have to go into an expansive space of higher frequency and light and love, and then create from there. We have to take action because we are in a 3D world, and that's part of the game. We want to play it. And when somebody said, I know how to get out of the matrix, I know, and I'm not telling anybody, I'm saying, too late. Remember Christ? You know, that guy who sacrificed his life to show us that you can get out of this, and here's how, and he did it, and he physically showed that he didn't die, and that this isn't real, and that we can transform, and that all the ways that we're behaving right now aren't how we do it. And he showed how to do it. These things you should do and more. It's just as easy to create a castle as a button. You are gods. You know, I mean, come on. That's the cray stuff, right? We still don't believe that. So he was speaking like people like me who sit in front of these cameras. You think you've got it bad? You think you have a tough job? Try sitting here. Everybody can look up and find out what you're talking about. Oh, yeah. Your friends, everybody like, oh, okay. Oh, that's who you are. Whoa. She's talking about aliens. Yeah, I'm busy tonight. And that's how it works. You're going to get rejected a lot. I have a whole video on that over on my Zen Powerhouse. Actually, I'll put it up here. I think it's over here. The recommended video, I'll put it up there. The cost of being spiritual. So you've got to be on your game. And this whole thing has been presented to us over and over. And look what happened to Christ. He got killed for speaking out. And so did every single disciple. didn't make it. And why is that? It's a tough job. It's so worth it. As you saw, nobody killed Christ. They killed Jesus, the body, but they didn't kill Christ. Christ was the euphoric, beautiful, expansive space that inhabited that body to show us what can be done. How amazing is that? Critical choice. Start making them, and if you are entangled with all this stuff, you will actually create the future that they're presenting. And that is absolutely intentional. There's no writer out there who doesn't intentionally do this. I know. I have 3 books out, 2 award-winning books, and a movie. And I've got more coming out. And guess what mine is called? The Miracle Series. In every one of my books, I show that there's a miracle that can come from light and love. And so my stories revolve around that. The Rooftop Christmas Tree is based on a true story that a friend shared with me. And I turned it into a romance. But the ending's true, and that miracles are possible. But this person in the book, and if you read The Rooftop Christmas Tree, I hope you guys do. I think you'll enjoy it, or watch the movie. It's free. If you've got Amazon Prime, it's free on there. It's showing globally. You'll see that people that believe in certain things stick to their guns. They don't have to explain anything to anybody. And sure enough, when they know it, it comes true. And that's what I teach in my Miracle Circle if you want to come over. When you know things, you're just at ease with it. You don't have to explain it to anybody. And it comes true. And you don't have to listen to anybody else's prediction of the future or watch the garbage. In fact, it's painful to watch that stuff. You can't relate to it at all. And so you'll seek higher information, higher videos, higher frequency messages. That's when you know you're making progress. You won't even want to look at that stuff because it starts to feel really bad. I know you're up for this challenge, and I know that you are awakening, and I know that it's tough because we're always going to be tested, and that's part of it. You'll continue to be tested, and you're just going to fly through it with flying colors because you're going to understand what it is, and every challenge is an opportunity for change. That's the good part. Those are gifts too, right? It's not just all the happy stuff. The gifts are, here's another challenge. I'm going to master it. Forgiveness, whatever it is. Compassion. Not getting angry or opposing people. All right, so come on down. The Manifest Anything series is free for you. I'm revamping it. I think you're going to love it. Total Clarity is coming out soon. That's a new course for you guys who want to understand how to control the power. When you sign up for Manifest Anything, you will get a free mobile app also, which is called What Am I Manifesting? Oops. And you have 5 reminders throughout the day that say, what are you thinking about right now? Because you're creating that. All right, so no more brainwashing and no more addictions and no more believing all this stuff. You create your world and you believe it, and it will be true for you. I promise you that. Miracles, my friend. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you. Namaste.